Hey everyone, welcome to another video. So today I'm going to film a reading vlog for the first time. It'll probably be over the next couple of days actually, we'll see how it goes. But the book that I'm going to be reading is a recent publication, I think it came out on Monday, from one of my favourite authors, one of my automatic buy authors, Tillie Cole. So this is the book that I'm going to be reading and giving you my thoughts on. So this is Lord of London Town. The blurb at the back is massive, so I'm not going to read it all out. But basically, we've got head of a London crime family and a beautiful love interest that comes back into his life in tumultuous circumstances, and yeah, I'm not really sure what it's all about from there. In my booktube newbie tag, one of the things I did say was that I wasn't keen on going into books blind, which is true. But this, because it is from Tillie Cole, I don't care what it is because I haven't disliked anything of hers before. There's some of her earlier works that I don't enjoy as much, but of her recent stuff, she can do no wrong in my view. So she writes a mix of kind of wholesome, cutesy romances, some comedy type style things, and then her darker stuff is where she really excels in my opinion. So I'm not actually a big fan of dark stuff. But Tillie can do it. Tillie can write things in a way that even the most messed up kind of stuff, I'm alright with it. So I am looking forward to getting stuck into this bad boy, and I will let you know how we get on. Yeah, let's see how we go. Hey there, just the first check-in for the reading vlog. So I'm now about 52 pages into this book now, Lord of London Town, I should say. And yeah, we've been introduced to the main characters. So we've got Arthur Adley and his crew of gangsters, and we've got Cheska Harlow Wright, who is on the nicer side of things. I think she's described as like the posh Chelsea girl. So yeah, just to kind of kick things off, we get a glimpse into Arthur's sort of childhood and what kind of life he's been raised into, with his father being the head of the Adley firm, which is a notorious East End gangster kind of drug running business. And so he's grown up in a pretty tough life, and expected to carry on the family business, and friends and cousins kind of like the same age group are kind of like his generation of it. And so the first little bit is just kind of setting the scene as him kind of growing up and coming up in the ranks of the firm, and he's basically sent around to beat people up and scare them when they're doing stuff they shouldn't be. So we kind of get to see kind of that side of him. All of his friends seem to be a little bit, how can we say this? They were described as nutjob murderers by one of the guys that they were sent after. I think it's kind of fair. It's very reminiscent of the Hades Hangman series, if you've read those ones. Very much the kind of bad guys, but somehow you kind of like them, even though they're clearly not good people. But you can't help but kind of be a bit compelled by them as well. So I'll let you know as I keep reading what I'm thinking, but I'm enjoying this so far. Hey there, just another update. We're now almost 100 pages in. I'm at chapter 5. Shit has hit the fan with the Adley firm, as I think I was expecting. It's very fast paced, very hooked, got the heart racing a bit at events that have transpired so far. This book is definitely living up to Tillie's other offerings in the dark romance kind of field, in the dark romance kind of genre. Yeah, I think it's one of those books, you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. It's super fast paced, kinda insta-lovey but kinda not. Very violent, very sick, very graphic. Like I say, there's just something about Tillie's books that are very addicting, and this one does not appear to be any different. So I've been sitting reading for most of the evening. I'm gonna have to get up and make some food soon, but I might just have another chapter or so before I get up. Right, so taking a little break, I've gone and made dinner, so we've had that, had a quick tidy, got a couple of loads of washing on, the usual boring adulting stuff, and now I'm going to get back into the story. So, since the start of the book, we've kind of moved along in the timeline, like, quite a bit. So, like, when it first started, the main characters were around 13, and then it jumped to when they were 18, it jumped to when they were, I think, 23. So we've seen like different stages in their lives. So it's obviously the story's covering like quite a long period of time, but we kind of jump to the next sort of important event, and we're only like what, on page 106. Yeah, page 106, and so much has happened. It's really fast paced, and we've kind of, I feel like everything up till this point was almost like setting the scene, putting all the stuff in place for what's the meat of the story is going to be. And I feel like there's a big event going to be happening soon. It just feels like there's something building. So I'm going to go and get stuck in and see what happens, because like I say, I feel like something's on the crux of happening at the minute. So I'm going to get stuck in again. So I literally just had a clip where I was like, I think something big's about to happen. I said something big's about to happen. I like turned the page and something big happened. I definitely felt that coming. So that was quite a shocking turn of events. But one, I kind of from the blurb at the back knew something was going to happen. There's a little Yoda. He's sitting with me while I'm reading. And he is only going to get to stay here until he starts to try and eat the book, because we like to eat paper, don't we, Yoda? Which is not ideal. But while he sits here behaving, he can stay with me. Oh, hello. He can stay with me while I read this rather violent turn of events once again. Tillie's got a lot of the violence going on right now. So another hour or so has passed, and I'm still in my blanket with this book. We're kind of at the 2/3 of the way through mark now. It's got like the weirdest Grease vibes at this moment. Like, I swear the main character is going from like the prissy prim and proper Sandy to bad Sandy in this moment. That's totally how it feels. Like, she's having to prove her worth. And it's just that, like, the scene I have in my head is from Grease, which I'm not sure if that's what Tillie was after, but that's definitely the vibe I've gotten. So obviously the main characters are Arthur and Cheska. I can't remember if I've said that before. And it's a dark romance. You're going into this. It's going to be mainly their story. And like I say, this is how I feel that Cheska's going over to the dark side, I suppose, to be with Arthur. And I'm interested, because like, she never seemed like a particular goody two shoes or anything, but it's interesting how she's decided to go this way. But I suppose, considering the circumstances in the book, I can see why, but it's quite extreme, his lifestyle. So yeah, that's the vibes I'm definitely getting at the minute, but we'll see how it goes. I'm not sure if the plot point is going to be finding kind of like the people who've been responsible for a certain incident. I feel like it might be, but that feels separate from this moment, so we'll see. Oh, and one cool thing was, I've mentioned the Hades Hangmen in an earlier clip, I'm sure. It's one of the other series that Tillie Cole's written, and that series is based on a motorcycle club, outlaw kind of gang, and they're based in Texas, but they have chapters in other cities. So the London chapter of the Hades Hangmen
made an appearance, which I'm like, oh, that's so cool. I love like that she's connected the worlds together. I think that's really cool. I do love hearing mentions of characters I know from another series. I get really excited when I'm reading a totally different series in the same world, and you can kind of be like, that connects to that, and that's cool. So that was a fun moment. But yeah, I'm pretty hooked, and as you can probably tell from all these clips, I have not moved in quite a long time. So we shall see. It is now 11:15, and I have to get up early tomorrow, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish this or not, but I want to at least get to the 200-page mark before I go to bed. So we shall see how it goes, and if we can make it to that point. I think we can, but we shall see. So here's another check-in. I'm still reading. It is 12:10. I really should be in bed. Well, I am in bed, but I should be sleeping. I have about 60 pages left, and I think I'm gonna just read it because I can't not. There's been a twist, and I thought I knew what it was gonna be, and it didn't end up going the way I thought, and I'm just like, oh my god, I did not see this coming, and I'm like, I'm going back to reading now. Finished. Wait, I'm filming. You smell. Book is finished. It's very good. I will discuss more in the morning. And now I'm asleep. Hey there. So it is not the next morning. It's actually a couple of days later. I never got round to filming my thoughts. When I first read it, I was like, oh my god, I love it. Let's give it 5 stars. Because I adore so much of what Tillie writes, and I'm kind of biased because I always love her books, and because I've read pretty much all of them, I kind of love them even before I start. That's just me being completely honest. Now, having had some time to think since finishing the book, thinking over the last couple of days, what is my honest opinion, trying to be as critical as possible. Not critical as possible, that's unfair. Just trying to critique. Overall, I really enjoyed the book. I decided to go with a 4-star rating for this book instead of 5. And the reason being is it Tillie's best book yet? No. Do I love it? Yes. A lot of the reasons I enjoyed it are reasons I could have said the reasons I enjoyed the Hades Hangmen, the reasons I enjoyed Scarred Souls. She writes kind of morally grey characters, shall we say, in a way that makes them kind of lovable in a weird way. There's obviously many flaws with these people, but she manages to make them still lovable characters, and you can see their softer sides, you can see their motivations and things, and you do end up really liking them despite, them being criminals or being whatever. Like, if I was to compare this book to Hades Hangmen series or the Scarred Soul series, I would still put them as higher, and I think that's fair. I've given them 5 stars pretty much across the board, and I stand by those. I feel like this one is good. It's not quite at the level they are. There were some similarities, obviously, with it being a dark romance, with it being of a crime syndicate type thing. There was opportunity for the characters to be similar. The character of Vinny reminded me a lot of the character of Flame in Hades Hangmen, who was my favourite character in Hades Hangmen. And again, reading this book, I was like, oh, I really would like to read a book with him, because he's my... it's a trope I really love. The totally damaged, kind of crazy guy finding love. I don't know. It's a trope I like for whatever reason. And I was kind of reading it thinking, oh, I wish this wasn't a standalone, because I would like to see how things work out for him, given events in the book. There's a big change happened for him, and I would like to see what happened in his future. I think at the minute it's just meant to be a standalone, but there's definitely potential there for it to be a series
if it is a series, I'm going to read it because I really enjoy it. My main criticism would be of the main characters. Now, Arthur and Cheska, they weren't the deepest of main characters. Cheska more than Arthur. I kind of feel like we got more of an insight to Arthur. And while he wasn't, you know, he wasn't like the deepest of ponds, you know, he wasn't like the best character I've ever read, but I accept kind of where she was going with him. I made a comment in one of my vlog clips about Cheska kind of, obviously the whole point of these romances, you know they're going to end up together, you know, I think in some way, shape or form, and she was having to change from the rich socialite lifestyle to fit in with his criminal lifestyle, and I made a comment about it feeling like good Sandy going to bad Sandy, and that really is how it felt. And I feel like her motivations for becoming bad Sandy were not particularly strong. I mean, I don't feel Cheska was the most rounded out character we've seen from Tillie. Usually her female leads have a bit more substance to them. And Cheska just seemed a little bit bland, I suppose. I didn't dislike her, but I don't know. She's not my favourite. But she was fine. There was just nothing grabbing me there, but she was fine. She wasn't weak, which I don't like weak female characters all the time. I like my female characters to have a little bit of spunk to them and not to be like downtrodden. And I don't really have an issue with her becoming her bad Sandy. I just feel like her motivations for it could have been a bit stronger. In saying that, a lot of crap happened to her in this book, and maybe I'm being judgmental. I just don't feel like there was enough backstory into why she went on that route. Obviously, loving Arthur, fair enough. But I don't know, I just feel, I don't know, that it was very insta-lovey in the fact that there was just a lot of sex and smoking. And somehow that went from sex and smoking to some great love. And I'm not entirely sure. There was a couple of scenes where I'm like, right, okay, this is obviously more than just sex and cigarettes. But I just feel like there wasn't that growth to a feeling. I mean, I have no issue with insta-lovey kind of stuff. I read romance novels going into them expecting kind of insta-lovey stuff. I really have no issue with that. I'd be in the wrong genre if it really bothered me. And it doesn't bother me. Like I said, I went into this book knowing that these two are wanting to get together. And I have no issue with that. I'm looking for fault. I'm looking for reasons that I wouldn't give this a 5-star. And to be honest, I don't know. I feel like I'm being almost too critical. It's tough. I'm very biased with Tillie Cole. I do love her books. But if I'm being 100% honest, this is a 4 to 4.5 star. It doesn't have the something. But I loved it. I will 100% read it anymore. It come out in this series. I will read anything else she puts out. Because I love Tillie, and it's very much on her level of what she puts out. I'm not disappointed by it at all. I'm just trying to give like a more balanced view on it. I'm not saying this book is perfect. I feel like hardcore Tillie fans are probably just going to love it like I do. I've got a friend who is one, and she loved it, and maybe some people will be a bit more critical, and like I say, if I was to be critical, that's the points I would raise. Yeah, that's my overall thoughts. It's genuinely one of the best books I've read in a while. I read it super quickly. I literally read it in an evening. It's been a long time since a book sucked me in so much I read it in an evening. I honestly thought it was going to take me longer to read, just because it's generally been taking me longer to read books lately. But I planted myself on the couch and didn't move, dragged my carcass to bed and couldn't sleep until I finished it. So I've got no real complaints. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great fun. It's not the kind of book for everybody. If you don't like things that are violent and graphic and morally grey and all that, you're not going to like this book. It's got a lot of triggering material. So yeah, I mean, go into this knowing what you're getting, essentially. Don't, it's not the greatest romance of all time, but in my opinion, a thoroughly enjoyable read. So yeah, I've been babbling on now for about 10 minutes, so we're going to wrap it up here. Overall, thumbs up from me. I really enjoyed it. I will hopefully be doing another reading vlog very soon, so I loved filming this. This was really fun. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, and I will hopefully be filming another reading vlog very soon. Bye bye.